So today I finally have my hands on the Sony A7RVI. Watch this. So I have my hands on the new Sony A7RVI, and this is no longer just a high resolution stills camera for landscapes or studio work, because this is now lightning fast with a fully stacked 67 megapixel sensor, which is virtually in medium format territory. Forget everything you know about the R series, because Sony just changed the rules of the game. So this stacked sensor can now rip through 30 frames per second in 14-bit RAW. So let me just put that into context. This camera is reading 67 million pixels 30 times per second, and it's doing it using full AI autofocus tracking, blackout free, so you don't miss anything in the viewfinder. And if you're wondering how fast this is compared to its predecessor, the R5, it's doing this 5.6 times faster, even with 6 million more pixels. I mean, I'm kind of speechless. It's not in the same territory as the A9 Mark III for speed, but if you take the speed of the A7 IV and double the resolution, I mean, this is becoming very appealing and a very real option for sports and wildlife photographers alike. So I was invited to a real shoot with some other talented photographers and Sony ambassadors to test out the Sony A7RVI and to experience this new era of stills and cinematic video capture. And I've got to tell you, it was next level. Check out some of these shots.
Don't give them too much.
Now, I own the A7 IV, which is widely regarded as the ultimate hybrid camera, equally good at both stills and cinematic video capture. But with the release of this new camera, I'm not so sure anymore. Where the previous model fell short with a sluggish 10 frames per second stills and a slow readout speed, rolling shutter was an issue for video, and low light performance with higher ISOs gave us quite a bit of noise past ISO 3200. Hence why the A7R5 was always considered the slow, methodical, high-resolution landscape and studio camera, which could do decent video on the side. That has now all changed with a fully stacked sensor. Much faster readout speed allows for higher frame rates, way less rolling shutter, and a brand new dual-gain circuit architecture, giving us a beautifully clean image right through to ISO 3200. And the result is an incredible 16 stops of dynamic range, which is some of the widest of any consumer camera on the market right now. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Now, to give you an example of just how useful a 67 megapixel sensor is, take a look at this image here. Shot with a 16mm ultra wide angle G lens from Sony. But in actual fact, this is just how far away I was from the talent before cropping in. Here's another example of that enormous high resolution full frame sensor. 30 frames per second using the electronic shutter is now just blazingly fast for such a big sensor, easily competing in the sports photography arena. Although interestingly, Sony don't really market the A7RVI as a sports camera. On the basketball court, I was able to effortlessly capture fast-paced movement with the new integrated AI processing unit with improved subject recognition and tracking stability. Other notable upgrades is a much brighter viewfinder, 4K 120 frames per second without cropping, illuminated buttons, and a newly designed S100 battery with a documented 17% more capacity. So the big question is, does the A7R6 take the crown from the A7 IV as the new king of hybrid cameras? Well, it depends. They both have advantages over the other. Notably, the A7 V has a second dual base ISO of 8000, which will give us much cleaner, low light performance for evening and nighttime video capture. And if you're wondering how good this is, this talking head that I'm shooting right now is being shot at ISO 8000 with zero noise reduction in post-production. Pretty impressive. The A7R6 has double the resolution, of course, so it kind of depends on what your priorities are. They both have support for 32-bit float audio recording thanks to a new firmware update for the A7 V, and both have a brilliant graphite heat dispersion system for overheating problems on long video shoots, which eliminates the need for internal fans. There is a small discrepancy on price, however. The A7 V costs £1,600 less than the new A7R6. So not a small discrepancy at all. But if pure image quality with high resolution is your thing with great video capture, then this new camera absolutely does take the crown as the greatest hybrid camera on the market. If you're interested in portrait photography and improving your skills in this field, I have a comprehensive headshot photography course where you can learn about gear, working with models, lighting setups, the business side of things, and of course, editing and professional retouching lessons. There are over 50 chapters and 5 hours of content, so well worth the look. I'll pop links in the description below. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more photography content. I'll see you on the flip side.